Hi, I'm Tereza from Potomac Beads. Today we will create together a small but addictive earrings with Potomac Crystal Ovals, and I will teach you how to make right angle weave bezel which is easily adjustable to different sizes and shapes of crystals. So let's gather the beads and start working. Today we will make these earrings. They are quite fast and simple, so it's a great idea for a gift actually if you can and make more. So you will need the stone. The stone is Potomac Crystal Oval 13 by 18 millimeter, and you will also need 3 millimeter Czech rounds, and we will be working with right angle weave stitch mostly, and we will create a bezel with it. For the thread, I have an arm span long thread threaded in my size 10 needle, and we will start by putting 4 of the Czech rounds, so like this. Slide them down and leave a tail like 10 centimeters and go through the first round and pull, so we will have the first segment of the right angle weave stitch ready. I will teach you a trick to make the bezel faster. So normally if you would be continuing in right angle weave, you would go for the rounds again. You will add 3 here, but let's make a trick and put on 1 11-0, Miyuki 11-0, and now put 3 rounds as you would in the normal right angle weave stitch and go. So my thread is coming out from this bottom round and go here through the top of the next one. So now we have something that looks like this. So pull. Position the 11-0 here between the neighboring rounds and go to finish the circle through this bottom round and pull like this. So these 11-0s, these ones, will be these here at the top. So we will actually create like a peyote row immediately while we are creating this bezel around. And what we do later, we will just go through all the beads and pull, and it creates your bezel. You insert the stone and then create the back side, and then the stone already sits perfectly in the bezel. So here we are like skipping one row, so that it's actually easier to hold the stone in the bezel immediately from the beginning. Now I am doing the same, so I put on 1 11-0, then I'm putting on 3 Czech rounds, sliding down, and now I'm going again from the top towards the 11-0 through this round on the right side. Now skip the Miyuki and go away from the Miyuki through the bottom round, and like this we will continue, always adding a Miyuki and 3 rounds, picking it like this, going from top towards the 11-0, positioning the 11-0 underneath this bead we just went through, and going away from the Miyuki through the neighboring round. So like this. So now I have 4 of these segments. We need 11 in total for this 13 by 18 crystal oval. Create now 6 more, so you will have 10 of these. 1 2 3, now I have 4, and now I need to add 6 to have 10, And after that, we need to connect them, which will create the last segment, the 11th segment. So what I will do now, I will add 6 more of these. So go ahead and add 6 more like me. And then I will catch you and we will close the bezel with the 11th segment. And here we are. I have 10 of these little segments, so 10 rounds here on the string, on the bottom row. Now we need to connect these sides. So like before, add a Miyuki and add 1 round only. Then circle the bezel and go up through this side, then pick another round, go down a little bit back. So now we have this and we have 4 beads for the segment as we need. And now all is left to do is adding the Miyuki 11-0 here into the last gap. So I'm continuing through the bottom row, pulling, and now I will add 1 missing Miyuki into this gap between the last and the first segment of the right angle weave stitch. Pull on both ends because it might loosen a bit with the tail here, and that's it. Now it's round and we will shape into the oval, of course, but before that we need to go through all the beads here in this row to make it nice and tight. So I'm going through all these 11-0s and rounds. So do the same to connect them and make the bezel, the front side, pretty nice and tight. And now to the fun part. So I went through all the beads and I'm exiting now through, out of one of the Czech rounds here at the top, doesn't matter which one. I would just recommend moving a bit further from the tail, because we went a few times through this round, and as we go a few more times through this round, we will have hard time. So make like circle plus 2 beads. Now, what we want to do is to add the crystal. So here, as I'm exiting through this round, there I want to have the top of my crystal. We have an odd number of the right angle weave segments. We have 11, so it's not the best thing out there. I'm a fan of even numbers here. So here at the top you want to have the odd number. So the number 1 I will have here, and that's because I want to have my earring hook here. So have it like this. The bottom will lie in symmetry with the 11-0 here. And now we need to get to the back side, so go through the round, turn your beadwork, make sure you have the correct round at the top. You can adjust it a bit later. It's moving, of course. And like this, choose which side you want to go. If you prefer left, I prefer right. And now we will add 11-0s, so we will work with peyote stitch. We add 11-0s between the round sticking here at the back. So just make sure you are holding the bezel tight in between your fingers and add 1 11-0 in between each round. So now I have to loosen it up a bit and I'm working around. So continue like this. Don't forget to pull, and as we did previously, we'll go through the beads again, so don't worry if you don't if you feel like you didn't pull enough, you will just do the same like in the front, going through all the beads one more time. So add your Miyukis into the gaps. The thread is really not cooperating with me, and then I will catch you later and we will finish it on the back. I have all the beads into place, and as I mentioned, I will go through all of them once more. That will make the bezel pretty tight. Do the same, and then you'll add 50 rows to close up the bezel. So after going through, we will add 3 50 rows at a time. So exit your thread from an 11 row, then put on 3 50 rows and go through a next 11 row in the line. So the 50 rows will lie on top of the round. I'm picking another 3, going through another 11 row. And like this I will go around. Looks like this. So the 50 rows are sitting on top of the round. So continue like this along the whole oval. Now we are returning back to the front to create this little embellishment. You can skip it, but I like it there, little small peacocks there, so let's add them. I'm now exiting the 11 row, so I will head into the round to get up into this row of the rounds. When I'm there, I will pick 2 50 rows. You can also add 3, depends on the visual you like. I went with 2. And then I go to the next round, and the 2 50 rows will be simply sitting there in between the rounds. And like this, I will go round. When I'm here at the top, also don't forget to like position the oval if it moved, so it's symmetrical, and here is the top of the oval and here is the place where you want to add the hook. So I will use this row of embellishment, and when I get here to the top, I will stop and add the hook and then continue, which saves me a few rows through the beads. So I'm getting to the top, continue like this too. So when you are at the top, this is my top Czech round. I have the embellishment done only on one side and I went through the round. Now I want to go through this round from the front to the back. There I will put on 4 50 rows, the earring component, then 4 more 50 rows, and with this is the top segment. I'm going across, so here from the front to the back, and now the loop is like halfway finished. So when you're at the back, put on 3 50 rows and check out the loop and skip these first 3 50 rows here, you don't want them, but go through the 2 at the top So now these sit in the middle, so I'm going only through the two. And pull. And finally pick 3 more 15 O's and go through the last side, which is missing the 15 O's. So I went from front to the back, and now I have like 4-point loop where I have 3, 3, 3, 3 15 O's, and all these little branches made from 3 15 O's are sharing these two at the top. And this is it. So now I have to get here again to the front round. So what I do, I will just use these branches in the back. I will strengthen them as I go through them, and at the same time I will use them to get to the place I need. So I'm going through the back part of the loop. So I went through these 8 beads in the back. Now I get from the back to the front through the round, and finally through this round here in the front, which will get me to the place where I will finish my embellishing. So I need to add 1, 2, 3 pairs of 15 O's, and then the earring will be finished. And the last part is adding the knots. So head from the front through some of the rounds and head from the front to the back. And there somewhere find a loop, like we will create a loop and we will do it, sorry for this, but yes, here. So what I'm doing is I'm finding like a bit piece of a more loose thread between the beads. I'm going underneath it, creating a loop and going through the loop like 2 times, and then I will head somewhere to the beads, tighten it up, and when I find my scissors I will cut this piece and I will thread the tail here, and then it means that the earrings are finished. So thank you for watching my framed pull earrings tutorial. I hope you learned something how to create this quick right angle beef stitch bezel with Czech rounds. It's quite fast. You can adapt the size easily to larger stone, to some different shapes as well. So don't hesitate to experiment, and it should work like this even on different pieces, as I said. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be looking forward to your pictures, which will be posted maybe in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.